got a question from Brandon, who is wondering if jiu-jitsu will get you ripped. So he says that he's been looking to get into jiu-jitsu for a while over the years, especially this last year with the coronavirus. He's gained a couple LBs. For those of you that are not in the United States, that would be the kgs, the kilograms. But he's gained some weight over the past year especially, and he's looked at jiu-jitsu as a mode of exercise because he says he's not really into exercise. It's not really his thing. He doesn't really work out that much. And jiu-jitsu looks like something fun that would give him a skill, but also help him get in shape because he looks at jiu-jitsu people that are training and they look like they're in great shape. And so again, to sort of go back to the question that he sent me, because he wants his abs to show a little bit. He wants that stomach that you can wash clothes on. I added the last part with the clothes on, but again, he does want to see his abdominal muscles, so he goes back to the question, or I go back to the question. Will jiu-jitsu get you ripped? So Brandon, thank you for the question, brother. And the short answer is no. Jiu-jitsu is not going to get you ripped by itself, right? Again, when it comes down to losing weight and getting lean, when it boils down to it, it's calories in, calories out. I mean, if you take in more than you expend, you're going to gain weight and vice versa. But jiu-jitsu does have a few things that are kind of, I don't want to say magical, but they're very helpful about it, right? And I'll explain what those are. So first things first, jiu-jitsu is one of the most fun forms of cardio for all of us crazy people that love it, right? I mean, and again, I say that because I know not everybody loves rolling, but for those of us that roll, that enjoy it, I mean, man, we love it and it's so much fun. We don't look at the time. Well, sometimes we might look at the timer if we're getting smashed and we're wondering how long we have. But we don't look at the time going, oh man, this is so boring. But when you think of a lot of traditional forms of cardio, most of us go in there and if we're doing the stationary bike or the treadmill or the stair step or whatever it might be, we look at the timer because we're like, God, I can't wait for this to be over. You know, we might be doing it because we need to do it to get in better shape or whatever it might be, but we're not doing it because, man, I love the stationary bike, right? But people love rolling. It's fun. And so you will burn through calories like crazy. And especially if you're rolling with people who are at a similar skill level to you, I mean, you will just chew through calories because your heart rate's jumping and I mean, it's getting high and you're just going and you're moving. I've worn heart rate monitors before when I train and I mean, I'm burning up as far as my heart rate and my calories. So again, it's really useful for that. So it's fun cardio that you're gonna burn through a lot of calories. Now, here's the second thing. A lot of people that come into jiu-jitsu who are not prior athletes, who exercise doesn't come easy to, who have a terrible diet, here's something that I've noticed. It's kind of a trend from being a coach for over a decade full time, right? And it's kind of the same thing that I experienced in wrestling. So when my students come in, let's say that we have a student that comes in, not an athlete, terrible diet, all that kind of stuff, right? They come in and they start training and very quickly they will lose weight right out of the gate because they're increasing their activity level. So they're losing weight, they're expending more calories, they're losing some weight. And then what happens is it starts to stall. But they've had this forward momentum, so then they say, what happens if I stop drinking sodas? What happens if I just cook some of my meals instead of eating out at fast food every night? What happens if I just stop drinking beer 5 days a week and maybe keep it to just on the weekend one day? You know, little small changes like that, right? And then what happens is their weight starts to drop a little bit more, but more importantly, because they're drinking more water, they're eating better food, whatever it might be, they come into the gym and when they're rolling, they feel better, right? So when they get on the mats, they're moving better, they're lasting longer. I've had several students who finally took my advice on eating a better diet and they'd come up to me and say, Chewy, you know, I drank more water today. I was eating this types of food, whatever. And like, I didn't need to sit out and take a break. I felt better when I was rolling. I was doing more choking than was being, I don't know how you would word that, but less people were choking them than they were choking other people, right? They were doing better on the mats than they expected. And so again, that's positive momentum. So even if the weight's not crashing downward and plummeting, they're still saying, man, that was motivating. What else could I change? And then they start improving their diet and it becomes this positive spiral. Just like you have a negative spiral, there's positive ones too. And so it sort of pushes them forward because you get that forward momentum because you get that instant feedback. You know, because maybe your weight's not dropping that much, but you felt great on the mats. And so you associate getting better results on the mats and your performance with eating better food. And so it increases your proclivity to want to eat the better foods, right? So that's the idea. So I think that's really powerful because you're getting fun cardio, you're getting fun exercise that you don't have to drag yourself to do. And then on top of that, you have this thing where as you eat better and as you consume better foods and improve your diet, because diet's what it's all based upon as far as losing weight, it goes hand in hand. And so you get motivated to eat the better foods. And so again, going back to the question, jiu-jitsu does not make you ripped, but Brandon, if you are trying to lose some weight, it's a great form of cardio. I would also encourage you to do some strength training to, get to work on those muscles and to build those up. Also, when you start rolling, it'll help you out, both in your ability to perform well and also to prevent injury. But when it eventually is going to come down to, Brandon, is as you lose the weight from training, if you start rolling, you're eventually going to have to diet. If you want to get lean, if you want to start seeing your abdominal muscles poke through, you're going to have to start dieting up a bit. Unless you have a low body weight already naturally, which you don't, I don't naturally, you're going to have to start dieting, and you're going to have to trim up the diet and improve it to get the results that you want. Jiu-jitsu is just a really fun form of exercise, and that's why a lot of times people have such great results on it, because they enjoy it. It's not something that they have to drag themselves to do, and they put a lot of effort into it because of it. And again, it has all these positive effects because of how when you eat better off the mat, when you sleep better, when you do these things, it improves your performance on the mat. So it kind of, again, it's a positive momentum, a positive spiral, if you will. So Brandon, hopefully that is useful to you, and hopefully helps you with your question. Guys, I'll talk to you next time.